Check, 1, 2, 1, 2, check. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to episode 4 of Small Town Junkies. I'm Jesse Littleton, also known as Graham Bell Fisher, host of the developing It's Not a Monster Trap variety show. Follow us on @LittletonJesse on Instagram for all our pre-production hijinks. Man, I'm exhausted. I didn't even think I was going to do one of these, but I'm home now. I've been in Ben Lomond, California for the past week at the Judy Stakey songwriting retreat. I'm going to have to retrieve this bone from this husky. Keep it down back there, Balin. But I was at the Judy Stakey songwriting retreat, and what it is a bunch of people can apply all over the world, and they only choose about 20, and there's about 26 of us for this one. But it was up in the Redwoods, and it was beautiful, and it was incredible. And for those of you just tuning in, I live in Sabina, Ohio. We are in Southwest Ohio right now, so being up in the Redwoods is a pretty far cry from where I am right now. During the week, what we would do is yoga in the morning, and then we would do some workshopping right before lunch, really pulling things spiritually out of yourself, kind of going there, and then making the connection between yourself, your spirituality, and then your songwriting, which was a craft that and a skill set that everybody had. Everybody was either like a really great singer, a really good guitar player, brilliant piano players, and a lot of people that were overall, they kind of had a little bit of each thing. Maybe not a jack of any certain trade, but just all so unique and just unbelievable people. We started as strangers, and as the week has ended, we're totally family. And if they're watching this now, I'm sure they're smiling just because they know exactly the experience that we had. And it was just that. It was an experience. So I'm back now. I made a ton of professional connection, a ton of spiritual connection, and really just a connection with myself. Hang on, I gotta get this bone from this dog. Hip hop. So, I know. And then, poor guy. He's like, you haven't been home for days, and you want to not pay attention to us and talk to the internet? And no. We've been having fun since I've been home. But yeah, so I just want to bring up this experience again. This is Small Town Junkies. We talk a lot about the opiate epidemic in Southwest Ohio, which is fucking terrible. If you're really anywhere in the U.S., you see it. It's through pills and heroin and all this crazy shit that they're putting in their bodies. So it's a chemical thing. The experience that I had this past week, was unlike anything I've ever had. And this is kind of why I'm talking about this on this podcast. It's super important. Plus, I'm going to start just kind of broadening the spectrum of just maybe dealing out some of the stuff in my head and heart, just so I can get through it myself, but maybe somebody will get something out of it. But the experience was crazy. It took me from not low. I was in a good spot. I'm in a good spot. My wife and I were doing incredible. There's a lot of incredible things happening in our lives. She's getting ready to graduate from college, and professionally this week even, my career's taken a new move, and there's a lot of things too. Working on a record with my buddy Dave Bassett, who did El King's X's and O's, big hit song last year, and he's a buddy of mine. He did my first record called Full Moon Cigarette. But anyways, all that, I felt pretty good when I went, and then I had this experience, and the experience was not brought on by chemicals. The experience was brought on by surrounding myself with people that had the same aspirations and dreams. A lot of artists, so they're usually not as hard as opening. We think we're real hard, but really we're so open, but we want to go deeper, and with each other. And man, we did. We are all rah, 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 you, me, how, who, what do we believe, all this. And it was awesome. And I loved it because it was people just like me, musicians. So we'd write during the day. We had to get in different groups of threes. There would be some different theme or something we'd have to ride off of. And then we would all go to different parts of the mountain, the redwoods, in a little cabin, or over here at a table, or outside on this big deck overlooking this vast scene. It was just an incredible place to write and create. and then we would write, and the three of us would really trade ideas, trade themes, trade very, very personal stories, and we would come out with these amazing songs. So we did that for a week, and man, I'm exhausted. I'm home now, here at the studio, Elm Street, and just kind of cleaning things up. Over here with the vacuum, you got a husky, you get a vacuum. But I wanted to share that with the world and anybody that might be following this podcast, or so it really gets popular down the road, they can look back. But you can change your life. And I didn't go needing to change my life. I'm a positive guy. I got a lot of cool things going on. I'm hardworking. I got my family's support, so that always makes things easier. You know, and if you do out there and you have that, you know, a lot of people are, oh, you're spoiled or unable. Yeah, you are. So fucking deal with it. But I know what that's like, and but the whole thing is if you have this advantage, then you got to take it further. You know, you have to take yourself. You know, you need to go show people how much you've been given, you know, and how that feels, and how important it is, and generosity, even with love, even if your parents aren't divorced. I mean, you know, we're not just talking about money, we're talking about your mental state, man, and what you grew up around, you know. You could have had a super cool mom but a really fucking weird dad or something, you know, or vice versa, you know, or, yeah, mom and grandma lived together, but dad wasn't there, and there's so many different scenarios. But if you sort of have the overall formula of everything's kind of okay, just know how blessed you are, and know how much you need to give to people. So, you know, I'm kind of hanging out there, you know, pretty great life, and then you go down, and then you sort of add a little bit of addiction and money problems to that, and then you have a whole new set of problems. You know, you have a whole new set of food that you're not eating that is good, you know, is as good as it should be. And then diabetes, things happen, and you can't afford a lot of healthcare, so things get even more shaky, so the foundations of that generation sort of falls down. And then it goes to another part where all of that chaos there just made a lot of people separate. They just didn't love their family. There were too many things going on and too many fights, so they're just out there, and they're just by themselves. Well, those people run into each other. When they do, they chill. they're self-medicating. They start smoking some weed together. They're drinking. And we're not talking about just on the street. We're talking about college graduates. We're talking about everyday people all the time. But you sort of get to fall through this cheese grater of formulas of generations and experience that that no two are the same. They're all just so different. But again, it does leave people. Somebody always kind of falls out of that, you know. And there's always usually one in every family. I bet you have one, you know. And then if you might be that person. Well, if you are, you obviously realize that you're not alone. But the only people you're really finding are the people that are using, you know. And it's not gonna end up good, you know. They come together, and then all of a sudden, you know, they're on the hunt, you know, and then they're kind of doing their thing, and they get a little bit more clever, and they might run into somebody that has a little more money or something, and then all of a sudden you got this little thing that's happening, and it's opiates, and it's pill trading, and you know, they eventually start shooting heroin, you know, and everybody knows kind of what happens to that group, you know. And if you're sitting in that group, run for your fucking life. And what I'm meaning is, like, it's no bullshit. It's not like, oh, chemical, you know, oh, heroin, we heard about in health class, you know, in the 80s. Like, no, it's 2017. We're smart. We know what to put in our bodies, what not. I'm an unhealthy guy. I don't put a lot of great things in my body. You know, I talk better than I take care of myself, but that's what I'm trying to do, is, like, get this shit out of me. So, yeah, if you're in that situation, you just, you know, reach out, find that one buddy, you know, or that one sibling or somebody that might just give you an hour of their time, and just lay it on them. Say, lock me in a closet, get me some help. And if you want to get help, go to a doctor. Call places like Solutions or your mental health recovery services. We have that in Lebanon and Clinton County around here, or anywhere surrounding. You could do it wherever you find it. And under these links, we always have hotlines and things that you can call, where to find a Narcotics Anonymous meeting, NA, and there's a ton of those. And there's more and more all the time, and that's a good place to start. And I'm sure the same for family. If you've lost people, that I'm sure your life's turned around and things aren't as good as they could be. So don't be afraid to reach out and get a little help. You know, get a little life preserver to help you sort of just rise above, you know, what you're going through. Because gosh, who can do it? You know, who can lose their children to that? You know, and who can carry the monkey of a big giant chemical warfare going on in your brain and your biology? Like, you've lost. If you're even a mom and you're taking pills 5 times a day, you know, now if you have true pain management, I understand that, you know, and just be responsible. And we've all seen documentaries and things like that. Like, we know how that can go and how it can work. And I've had 2 major surgeries. I've lost half my left lung. This is a story you're always going to be hearing through this podcast just because it's super relevant to my life and my experience. It's why I feel like I even got a shot of even talking about this stuff, you know. And I've been through it, been through the gamut. You know, I've been in rock and roll since I was 17. And I've seen it all, you know, and it's been fun. And I've tamed compared to, you know, the legendary rock stories, but I had fun and I tried it all. And but the point is this chemical thing that's happening. You know, nobody wants to talk about it. It's just this quiet thing. And mothers are, you know, you got a guy that's working and he's a hardworking guy, and then he hurts his back. And it's kind of the like go-to popular story of like, dude, how could you live your life like that? And how could you just die? You know, like, how could you even shoot that and like leave your kids? Yeah, it's a good question, but geez. You know, do you think they want that? You know what I mean? Do you think they hit the lottery because they're like going through that experience and life got so fucking bad for them that they fucking decided no more? You know, maybe they just didn't want to hear your mouth. You know, you ever tried loving somebody? You know, and I think that's just it. You get somebody that gets wrapped up in that, man, and everybody turns their back. And I've done it too, you know, and I have carried a lot of regret for not putting myself on the line, you know. But at some point, enough's enough. And there's families out there that know what I mean, you know. Or you might have a boyfriend or a girlfriend or a husband or a wife, and you're like, no more. And you've walked away, and you have decided to, you know, move on, get better. But in order to do that, you got to reach out. You got to find a spot. In Vivitrol and Suboxone, they might be this kind of same thing, but it's something that's working. And it's different for each person's biology, you know, because you'll hear stories, and you don't need to be deterred by that, because you'll hear like, oh, dude, I heard that shit doesn't work, man. And it's like, yeah, it does, and it's proven that it does, and they're using it in the drug court here in Clinton County. And in our county, you end up, if you get hit with, I don't know all the details, you know, so I'm not going to sit here and act like I know, but I know what's up because I've been there and I've seen it. But if you get hit, you know, with a felony of having possession of heroin or however it goes down, you get to basically go through drug court. And in the drug court, you're going to have to do like 118 days. I think it's more than 90 days, but it's 118 days. I think that's what they figured out really works for the program. They'll send you to drug testing probably each week, you know, I'm sure, if not each week, each month, or surprise, whatever. So you're in that system, you got to be held accountable for that, you know, or they can take your ass to jail, which, you know, I mean, if you want to go do that and just sort of try to detox off of chemical dependency, like, good luck with that one. You know what I mean? You can look at the jail thing, how they post all the people's photos, you know, and we see a bunch of people that we know, and I hate it, man, because it's people that I love and people I went to school with. And if you're watching this, I'm here. Hit me up. You know what I mean? Nothing's changed. I'm Jesse. You know, we grew up together. Even if it's been since 3rd grade since we hung out, man, like shit. Don't feel like you don't have anybody, because it's just not true these days. You know, you can throw something out on Facebook and be like, hey, what's a good line? The one I always see. I just can't take it anymore. You know, I think about what it takes to write that on Facebook. I just can't take it anymore. And then all of a sudden, little ego tripper red things pop up. Boom, 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 boom. Hey girl, what's up? Hey, I love you. Whatever you're going through, I'm praying for you. You know, and maybe those people aren't in your lives every day, but they're around. You know, we just sort of forget how to reach out. You know, and social media at first isolated us because I think we were all just watching it. But now that we're all engaging in it, you know, it's feeling, you know, we're really judging ourselves on likes and how many people, you know, like a photo, you know, and we all do it. You know what I mean? We all trip out like, oh, I got a message. Whoop, whoop. addicted, for sure. I promote my art through it, and so that's kind of why I'm so involved. But yeah, I really try to shake my time on it because it consumes me. But we're so entertained, so obviously it's easy to sit around on pills and kind of be riding on pills or be riding on a heroin buzz, but if you're lifting off and you're slamming down and you need a pill to get through the day, or pills, you're in a bad spot, man. So the clock's ticking, and just know that it's gonna fuck you up, and it's gonna take you down, and it's gonna do bad things, and it's gonna make you do things to your family and friends that you don't even want to do, man. You don't, but you're gonna be so sick, and your body's gonna need it so bad. It's like, think of when you have the flu. Try to remember that right now. Think about it. Your worst flu or food poisoning. God, I've had that 2 or 3 times, man. Once while in the hospital, I don't know what the hell was going on. But if you had the flu, you would be almost it's like you want to curl up in your blanket and just die, and sort of just clench your head off and just somehow just decompress, and it's just your body fighting this sickness. But it's cool because it revs up and it just fights. But when you're on heroin, everything has to fight, and that's why you get itchy and you start picking at your skin and it all gets all crazy. So, and the body language, I'm showing you it because that's what it is. That is what it is, and I've seen it. And the only way that shit's going away is with a little bit more. And the more you put in, the more that you have to add on top of that, and on and on. So if you don't think that you think you can go get wrapped up in a bunch of fucking Percocet all the time, or oxycodone, and just anything in that camp, cool. Be careful, because that shit will run out. Your grandma will pass away, and you can't get her pills anymore. The dealer, he's got pills, but he loves those for himself and his girlfriend, or girlfriends, or boyfriends, or girls. I mean, it's everybody's throwing those pills around. But when that runs out, and you can't get those, you're buying $5-10 bag of heroin, you're tooting it, and then you're smoking it. Just smoke it, dude. I don't know, I just smoke it. And then all of a sudden, intravenously, toes everywhere, And once you go there, that's it. I've seen 5 people I know in the last 5 years go, and then even some before that. I mean, it's deadly, man. So I think the idea of the podcast is to reduce the stigma, talk from the heart. I'm fucking exhausted. I tell you, I've been up for 3 days. I've been traveling. I was at a wedding last night. My cousin got married. It was beautiful. Oh, it was such an incredible time. But I didn't get home till late. Stayed up late, hanging out with the wife, just catching up with her. So happy to be back with the dogs, all that. And I know you heard on the street, kind of cleaning up and kind of my last little blast of energy. So I'm glad I threw it to this. This is Small Town Junkies, and hopefully you got a little something out of this. We're getting ready to rev up, and we're going to start doing a lot of interviews. We've just been scheduling them and trying to figure out what's right, because when you start telling other people's story, it's pretty crazy. Because a lot of these stories that we're going to be telling is other people connected, and you don't know how they feel about it, So it's huge for somebody to come on here and want to tell their story and take the risk of, and even us taking the risk of, there's so many elements behind this, that this disease pops up, and it, just think how connected you are. Even if you feel so alone, what happens if you die? Your life will affect others. They're going to hear about it. You're going to have to be taken care of. I don't care if you live states away or across the country, across the world. Somebody is probably responsible for you. And if you are truly that alone, you're not, because we're here, we are talking about it. There's people in the world that care about you. There's hotlines all under here for people that will listen to you for free for probably as long as you want. And you can call them 100 times. And if it takes you 1,000 times, just keep trying. You're in a chemical spot. You're stuck. It's ripping at your seams. But you can beat it. But you gotta beat it. You gotta fight medicine with medicine. You need to get in touch with how to get some Vivitrol in your life, and just see what's up with all the new stuff. I mean, if you're hip enough to be watching this and you got a cell phone, you know how that new iPhone 7 Plus works, and hell, you're probably on pre-order for that iPhone 10. Facial recognition. Oh man. But so if you're hip to all that, You could be hip to looking up a phone number, and getting yourself there and getting hip to this medicine that will make you better. It'll make you a better dad, make you a better person, make you better, physically. Just your body will be harmonious again. You'll feel at least normal. Life's hard. It doesn't matter who you are. If you have a ton of money, ton of success, it doesn't matter. It's all hard. Everybody's problems are the problems. But if you throw a chemical one in there, brother, sister, other species, creature of earth, lights out. Lights flickered. It was funny right when I said that. It's not funny, but it's actually kind of fucking creepy. So, anyways, yep, Freddie Jason. That's cool. I got my wife this shirt. It kind of was a joke. She's a big horror movie fan, but we're here at Elm Street Creative Studios. I'm Jesse Littleton, also known as the Light Slinger from It's Not a Monster Trap variety show. I'm working on it. We're going to be filming this pilot coming up. If you follow us on Instagram, keep on following us. It's pretty awesome. We're doing this podcast, Small Town Junkies. And of course, my name is Jesse Littleton, also known as Grand Bell Fisher. We got an EP dropping. You can go to our Bandcamp. If you hit me up on Instagram under the link, free full-length album download. Album made with George Bird, Lynn Beatty, myself, amazing Brian Watkins. We slammed it out. It's been a couple years, and we're kind of just releasing it to the public for free for you. It was an album that we wanted to give away, so get caught up on what we're doing, because we also want to do some good shit. We don't get paid to do this stuff. It's not even there yet. Hopefully it is, because it's just going to allow us to do more, affect more people, reach out, entertain more, have a lot of fun, and just create, our little world. We think we're pretty fun here in the Midwest of what we've done, and our artist collective over the years has gotten cool, super cool, and I kind of got to always be leading at the helm, so here I am talking. But again, this is Small Town Junkies. I love you. Be sure to tune in next time. We're going to be talking about monsters, not a monster trap show, but we're going to be talking about our inner monster. I've been watching a lot of Jordan Peterson, and if you haven't watched him, just YouTube him now. Especially if you're caught up and you need some inspiration every day. Like I do. I watch 4 or 5 videos if I'm lucky, sneak them in when I can. And it's healthy stuff. Jordan Peterson, I really enjoy his perspective right now in the world. It's very non-judgmental. A lot of people are coming after him, because the left and the right are kind of doing this crazy thing. But it's just the last gasp of a lot of misunderstanding. I think we all got to know each other really fast. We're like, oh shit, we're for sure not the same. And no, we're not. I'm in Savannah, Ohio now, and I was in Ben Lomond, California, in the Redwoods, almost 24 hours ago. And I'm going to bed. I'm going to hopefully sleep for 10 hours. But when I wake up, I'm probably not going to sleep for 10 years because I'm pumped. And thank you to Judy Stakey and all the riders this week. You've just touched my soul, and you've healed me, and you've allowed me to come back and just even do this looser and give myself up to whatever the hell it is I'm doing here. But my love to all. This is Small Town Junkies.